Welcome back to 3 Inquisitive Kids. We're going to be finishing up our 7th grade math lessons with a last chapter all about statistics and probability. So this lesson is going to be Introduction to Probability. Here's our course outline for this unit. As you can see, we've just begun. In our next lessons, we're going to be talking about all the different types of probability and the types of problems that you will see with probability. Our learning goals for today is to understand the inevitable, impossible, and random events and be able to make predictions on these events. So toss a dice with numbers 1 to 6 engraved on each of the 6 sides. Think about the following questions. What numbers might you land on? Is it possible to land on the number 7? What is the probability of landing on a number greater than 0? And is it possible to land on 4? So the numbers might land on are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, a total of 6 numbers, because those are all the numbers engraved on each side of the dice. But then, is it possible to land on 7? Well, that's impossible, because the numbers only range from 1 to 6. We're given that. What is the probability of landing on a number greater than 0? That is inevitable. All these numbers from 1 to 6 are greater than 0. And it may or may not happen to land on 4, because 4 is just one number out of 6 numbers. If Kanban randomly draws a ball from the box, will he be able to get a red ball? Here you can see we have a box with red and white balls in it. Kanban might get a red ball and he might not. It's a random event. Will Karen draw a white ball no matter what? So this is Karen on the left, and Kalie has a different box on the right. Will Kalie be able to draw a red ball no matter what? Well, for Karen, she only has white balls, which means that no matter what, she's going to draw out a white ball. And it's the same for Kalie with red balls. What is the probability of drawing a red ball for each person? For Kanban, it may or may not happen. It's random. For Karen, it's impossible, and for Kalie, it is inevitable, because Kalie can only draw out a red ball. Can we know the probability of drawing a red card from the following deck of cards? In this deck of cards, we only have red cards. It's inevitable. In this deck, we only have black cards, so it's impossible of drawing a red card. And in this deck, with both black and red cards, it's random. The events that will happen no matter what are inevitable. The events that will definitely not happen are impossible. So these two types of possibility are both confirmed outcomes. We know that they will happen. We are sure that they will either happen or they will not. But there's also a type of probability called random. Determine the possibility of the following events. Number 1, a bus will stop at a red light at a cross section. That is random. A brick will float on water. That is impossible. Out of 13 people, at least 2 will share the same month of birth. This requires a little bit more thinking. Well, we have 13 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We only have 12 months in total. So if all of these 12 people have different months, but we have one single person left, and that person will have to share 1 month with another person from this entire area, which means at least 2 will share the same month of birth. It's inevitable. A train will arrive exactly on time the next day. That is random. Which of the following is inevitable and which are impossible? Wood burns to generate heat. Tomorrow the earth will stop rotating. A roasted duck flew. And this snow will melt under 30 degrees Fahrenheit. This first one is inevitable because firewood burns to generate heat. Tomorrow, the earth will stop rotating. That is kind of impossible. And a roasted duck flew. That is impossible because it's already dead. And this snow will melt under 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That is impossible because the freezing degrees is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. There are 4 black balls and 2 white balls in a bag with the same shape, size, texture, etc. A ball is randomly drawn from the bag. Is the ball white or black? If both types of balls are likely to be drawn, is a black ball as likely to be drawn as a white ball? So the randomly drawn ball could be white or black. But the probability of drawing a black ball is greater because they put in more black balls than white balls. So let's say we've been experimenting and we've been taking multiple trials. 5 times we've drawn out a black ball, and 3 times we've drawn out a white ball. Since the amount of the two kinds of balls are uneven, then the possibilities of drawing a black ball and drawing a white ball are different. So the possibility of drawing a black ball is greater than drawing a white ball. Does changing the quantity of a certain colored ball affect the possibility of drawing a ball of that color? Yes. For example, if you're going to add more white balls, it increases the chances of picking a white ball. So random events can vary in probability. Some random events are more likely to happen, while others are less likely to happen. There is a spinner divided into 6 equal sections with 3 colors: red, green, and yellow. Order the following events from their possibility from least to greatest. Number 1, the pointer points to red. Number 2, the pointer points to green. The pointer points to yellow, and the pointer does not point to yellow. So what is the most likely event? Most likely event would be 4. It's talking about the pointer landing on all these other 4 sections. The least likely event is 2, because there is only one single green section. And when you arrange all these events in ascending order, it would be 2, 3, 1, and 4. There are 7 red balls, 5 yellow balls, and 4 green balls in an opaque bucket, which means you can't see through it. These balls are all identical except for their color. Randomly draw a ball. If you want to maximize the possibility of drawing a green ball, at least how many more green balls do you need to add? You need to put in at least 4 more green balls in order to make it the biggest possibility, maximize the possibility. Because since right now the number of red balls is the greatest, you have to pass that by at least 1. And 4 plus 4 more equals 8, and that is just 1 more than 7. Today in class we learned about all the different types of probability and the types of events that can happen. There are impossible and inevitable events and random events. So we learned about the definition of random events and the properties of it. The occurrence of a random event is uncertain, so we don't know for sure. Unlike impossible and inevitable events, we know that they will definitely not or definitely happen. And in general, the probability of random events are different. I hope you learned something from this video, and be sure to come back for our next lesson on probability.